All right, the records are now open. Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of Akashic Answers with Emily, where for the next 30 minutes, I will be channeling insight for you directly from the Akashic Records. This show is based on your questions. You are a huge part of this show. So let me just start out by thanking you for tuning in every week and helping me to create a powerful classroom where we all get to learn and grow together in the Akashic Records. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know who you are and where you are tuning in from. One thing that I want to share with you about what will happen today is as the intelligence flows in from the Akashic Records, not only will it make sense for your life, but I want to also bring your awareness to the energy transmission, the vibrational frequency of what gets to come through today is designed to shift your energy, your awareness at the cellular level. It's why we call this a transmission. So one of the very first transmissions and activations that we get in this space is opening our awareness. Hang on, wardrobe malfunction there because I talk a lot with my hands. Get back down. One of the very first activations that we get to experience is a connection of oneness and the awareness that we are all working together here in this space, creating a grid of consciousness across the planet. And each one of us are pinpoints of light on this grid of consciousness. So any intelligence that comes in, an aha moment for you, a new perspective shift, will begin to flow through this grid of intelligence and allow every single one of us to up level in an even more profound way. This will also spread the love and the energy across this beautiful planet. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Ma. Hi, April. Hi, Susan. I'm so happy that you are all here joining me. If this is the first time you're here, let me introduce myself. I'm Emily Harrison, founder director of the Akashic Academy. I work with visionaries and thought leaders who want to escape the world of ordinary thought and tap into superconscious intelligence. When we shift our brainwaves and tap into this field of superconscious intelligence, there are a lot of things we can do with it, but two main things that I want to bring your attention to. First one is healing. Self-healing. Human mechanism has the ability to heal any aspect of your life that is not operating in its highest potentiality. We have come to the state in our collective evolution where we recognize that we are creating everything that we experience, right? Send me some love, likes, hearts across the screen. If you are on board with it, you get it, that you are creating everything you are experiencing. However, many of us are still miscreating. We are not creating at the conscious level, and we are not creating at will. We are creating through our subconscious patterns, which means the ways of being that have gotten ingrained in us. Many of these ways of being are trauma responses. You following me? And they're happening on the subconscious level or below our awareness. Once you bring your patterns from subconscious into consciousness or into your awareness, you understand them and why you're operating out of them. That's when you have the power to change them. And that's where healing happens. When we no longer participate in the same old patterns and ways of being, whether it's playing small or whether it's being sick or whether it's unsatisfying, unfulfilling relationships, whatever you are noticing that you do not like in the world, whether it's in the big picture of the world or whether it's in your smaller microcosm, in your personal bubble in the world, you are the cause of. And you can begin to shift that very quickly once you recognize why you're showing up and creating or miscreating in your life. So that's the first reason, is to heal our lives. And healing, by the way, isn't just being sick. Healing is anything that is not operating in a state of wholeness and its highest potentiality. Okay, your finances might be sick. Your job might be sick. Meaning if you're not showing up in a job that you absolutely love and is enlivening you and invigorating you, if you don't get to show up fully self-expressed and creative, that part of your life is ill. You've got dis-ease. So that is not how you were meant to be here on the planet. All right, the second reason that visionaries and thought leaders want to learn to tap into the Akashic Records is so they can tap into extraordinary genius. We are also at an evolutionary time on our planet where it's our job to innovate. We know that it is because we've taken responsibility for creating everything we're experiencing. We're no longer waiting for the government to make shifts and changes. We're no longer waiting for the people who we look at as the leaders of our current society to make shifts and changes. We are taking full responsibility for innovating the way we show up and operate in our relationships, the way that we educate ourselves, the way that we serve the planet. All of these things are our responsibility to show up and shift and change. So once you learn how to shift from the ordinary thought patterns and your thoughts are playing on repeat and move into higher mind, into superconscious intelligence, you have access to totally new thought, innovative thought, pristine thought that will show you where you're going wrong in your life so that you can shift and change it. I'm going to give you a demo on how this works today. So please start typing in your questions based on the questions that you all ask. That is what will be dropping in for us today from the Akashic Records. We're going to jam till 12:30 p.m. Pacific. So stay until the end. Your soul, you guys see Apollo down there using my chair as a scratching post? Hey. I had a feeling that I was blowing it by not kicking him out of here. I just felt bad. And I feel like the animals want to hang out in here and that they enjoy the space. Nope. If you keep biting me, dude, you're out. Do not bite me during the show or you're out. That's one rule. Stay till the end. We're going to jam till 12:30. Your soul's brought you into this frequency, into this space for a particular reason. I also want you to know that the answers build on each other. The transmissions build on each other. So when we get to whatever we will be working on by the end of the show, it will be predicated and the energy will have started to build already based on what we start out with here in the very beginning of the show. Okay. So get those questions typed in. Let's see. If you are new to this space, the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where every detail of your life, your past, your present, all possible futures has been recorded from a neutral perspective. This will be the space that I'm tapping into today. I also want you to know that if the intelligence that's coming in feels like it's for you, it's resonating in your body, maybe you notice some tingles or some temperature shifts within your body, that is a sign that this message is for you, even if you didn't ask the question. So please receive that intelligence as it were your guides, your higher self talking directly to you. I think that's all I want to say. I want to dive on in for let's get busy here in the show today. Suzanne is here. I feel abundant. However, end of the month, not showing up in the money flow. All right. So, Suzanne, what I am getting from what you're sharing here is that you are consciously choosing the feeling of abundance. However, you are noticing that it is not yet showing up in your world. Okay. So I'm going to tap in here, Suzanne, and see what the guides want to say. The first thing that I'm noticing dropping into my mind is that our perspective of money, wealth, and abundance is really off, people. Perhaps you have heard these statistics. If you haven't, get ready because this is going to blow your mind. If you have a roof over your head, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen if that is you. If you are currently existing with a roof over your head, if you have running water, how many of y'all have running water? Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen if you have running water. if you have change in your pocket, I don't actually have change in my pocket, but I was digging through my purse about 10 minutes ago, looking for my lip gloss, and there was a bunch of quarters on the bottom of my purse. Okay, so those are the 3 stipulations. There's one more. If you have food to eat today, I just went grocery shopping last night. I have 3 teenagers. My grocery bill is ridiculous, everybody. I remember when I could spend what I spend on 1 week now, and that would get me groceries for the entire month, and not with 3 teenagers. Okay, so those are the 3 stipulations. If you have a roof over your head, 4 stipulations. Roof over your head, running water, spare change, and food to eat today. You are richer than 95% of the world. So understanding that perspective shift is the first thing that the guides are bringing in, and begin to bring in the feeling of abundance around things other than our money. Checking off the list. Okay, I've got all 4 of those things. All right, my money situation. Okay, I'm good. I'm not going to continue to focus my feeling abundant by how I'm measuring my finances right now. And let's shift and let's take a look at the other areas where we can tap into and begin to measure our abundance. Okay, let's look at the abundance of powerful thoughts, the guides are saying. And this is challenging because the vast majority of our thoughts are happening on autopilot and we're not even aware of them. I'm going to tell you some more statistics. The average human has between 12 and 60,000 thoughts per day. 90% of those thoughts are negative. 80% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday. And 95 to 99% of those thoughts are subconscious, so we don't even realize that we're thinking them. So learning how to reprogram the mind and to really think power thoughts and to notice the areas where we are abundant is challenging, because so much of it is happening on autopilot and happening below the surface. It's not challenging because it's hard to do. It's challenging because it's happening below our awareness. Perfect time to share with you all a new program, a new membership program that we've released in the Akashic Academy, because it's for this purpose. It is for the purpose of learning to hold the frequency of miracle consciousness. It's a habit. It's a muscle that we have to learn to flex. One of the ways that we are doing that, helping our community hold the frequency of miracle consciousness in this new membership program, it's called the Ether. By the way, I've already left you all the link before I went live. I left you the link here if you're watching on StreamYard, scroll to the top of the comments and you'll find the link there. If you are watching on another channel like Instagram, make sure you check out Linktree. You can find the Ether in Linktree. But one of the ways we are supporting our community is through daily text messages. And these messages have already shifted my life. One of the main reasons that I created this new program, this new membership program, was because I recognize where my need is in holding a frequency of miracle consciousness, of high thought vibes all the time. I'm human, just like you all, mostly alien, but still partly human. I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not kidding. We've all got a lot of alien DNA. It's what makes us human. And I am still subject to the distortion that happens in our field of my patterns of behavior. I'm sensitive to energy. So if I'm around somebody who is in a really bad mood, or they're moving through an old timeline and jumping into a new higher timeline, and they're in breakdown while they're letting go of the old identity, sometimes that energy gets on me. I got to get it off, right? How many of you can relate? Empathy has gotten almost a bad rap because it can drain our energy. However, that's when it's expressing in a shadow octave. It's also known as your clairsentience, or your ability to feel energy, clear feeling. When our empathy is expressing as a superpower, you don't get drained by other people's energy. You actually walk into a room and you set the energetic frequency of the room. In civilian terms, we might call that charisma. In Wooville, we call it clairsentience. So I can get subject to the distortion. EMF creates distortion. If I tune into the news, which I don't very often, I can feel the distortion. I do like to, guilty pleasure is being human. I like to check out sometimes and watch reality TV. Oh my gosh. I'm getting so sensitive to it, especially now that we've launched the ether and my energy frequency is staying so much higher all the time. About 10 minutes of it, and I'm like, turn this off. This is, I'm instantly feeling drained and icky. So these daily text messages are reminding us to unplug from the distortion that's happening and tune into higher thought frequencies. One of my goals for 2023 is to become a household name in the Akashic Records. And I knew that I needed support in holding this frequency of miracle consciousness. Again, one of the reasons that we created the ether, the membership community. And I want to tell you, it's already working. Let's see, I saw Ray. Yep, Ray says really enjoying the text messages. Ray's a part of that community. And so is the beautiful Suzanne, which, by the way, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. If you are getting value out of this part of the discussion right here, let's uplift Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne, for letting us all work in this field together to learn to hold the frequency of abundant, joyful thought, prosperity thought. So for me, becoming a household name in the Akashic Records is a goal for 2023. Created the ether to help me hold the vibrational frequency of miracle consciousness. In the past 2 weeks, I have had 3 high-level influencers, thought leaders, visionaries. I did not even know they knew who I was. Reach out to me. 2 of them inquiring about working with me in the Akashic Records. The other one asking my opinion about programs and what's happening here on the earth plane right now. There we go. We're back on Instagram. I'm like, oh, wow, it's working. The Akashic Academy, this study of the Akashic Records, it is getting the attention of high-level, impactful visionaries and thought leaders who have said, me, I'm here on the planet to make change. No longer playing small. How many of you out there still feel like you're playing small? Cool. Shannon, love this. Energy is abundant. Yeah, and that is shifting our awareness to the abundance that is all around us. Oxygen in and of itself, breath. The abundance of breath, and it's available to us in any moment. Yes, if you still feel like you're playing small, Jacqueline, thank you. I'm going to hold space for you so that we can have the bravery, the courage, the inspiration, the motivation to play big in our lives. All right, so let's do an activation here. I want to go back to this idea of breath being readily available for us. I want you to think about abundance and prosperity in terms of breath. How much breath and oxygen is available to you right now in this moment, and allow that to become the template in your mind for abundance. All you need to do is breathe it in. Okay, let's take 3 nice deep breaths together. Deep breath in. Let me work on relaxing my face and my body. Where you work on relaxing yourself too. Exhale. I am abundance. I am abundance. Using the I am statement, I am abundance. Good work. Notice how you feel right now in this moment. Just pause, tap in. Good. I've got some tingling in the mind that signals to me that I've got neural pathways that are rewiring, holding space for all of you as well. Rewiring those neural pathways so that you can tap into the knowingness that abundance is all around you. Take it out of the context of money. Great work. Thank you, Suzanne. I love it. All right. So next question, Tracy Hoover. Can you see people's Akashic records to see why a person's purpose is in your life? Yes. So thank you, Tracy. Here's how the Akashic records work. In order to open up someone else's Akashic records, we must have their permission. That's why I encourage each of you to work within your own Akashic records. Okay? Actually, I'm going to write down some notes for myself. So I like to go back and share what happens in this time together. And because I'm in a state of channeling, I remember about 2% of what actually happens here in this space. Okay, so Tracy, here's how the Akashic records work. We must have permission. So rather than you opening your significant other's Akashic records to see why they're in your life or what the soul contracts are that you two have agreed to play out together, open your own records. You're part of that relationship. We can always open our own records and get the intelligence around soul contracts or soul contracts we have with others. Okay. We are all here to help each other learn. Even the people in your life who show up as assholes, and you think, yeah, I'm not learning anything from that person. That person is not helping me. It's time to shift your perspective. Just like we shifted perspective out of automatically connecting abundance to money, we want to shift your perspective about learning. Earth is a school. It is a consciousness school. Your soul comes here to learn, to grow, to step into a more powerful frequency of your own creatorship. You are here to learn about yourself as a creator. And a lot of the lessons that we are here to learn are about where we've given away our freedom and where we've become disempowered, where we've allowed ourselves to be oppressed, where we're playing small. Here's that theme of playing small again. So many times there will be people in your life who teach you really valuable lessons and you don't like them very much. That guy is an asshole. You're not teaching me anything. No, these are actually your greatest teachers. The biggest assholes are your greatest teachers along the way. Full perspective shift. The guides are wanting me to bring awareness now to anytime you allow yourself this big shift in perspective, you are opening up God mind, because God mind, Goddess mind can see all possibilities. When we incarnate as human, we see limited possibility. We see from the perspective that we are experiencing something. So we're beginning to have an expansion of our God consciousness here in this space together, just by viewing circumstances of our life from a different perspective. Thank Tracy. Very, very good conversation here, Tracy. All right, so let's figure out, I want you to think about the person in your life who is the biggest a-hole. I did see my mama in here. I'm going to stop saying the word ass. Stop cussing, mama, okay? Beep. Beep me out. Think about who is the biggest a-hole in your life. Thank you, Ma, for thanking Tracy. That's right. Catalyst. There you go. Mimi Baker. I'm sorry that is your experience. I have been there too with you. I've been there. Okay. Think about who is the biggest a-hole in your life right now. Who is causing you the most grief, the most irritation, the most panic, the most sadness? And I want you to lay your hand on your heart and ask your guides, ask spirit to begin, ask your higher self to help you begin to see this person from a different perspective. Here's the question. What am I learning in this relationship? And just breathe until you allow the intelligence to flow in. Thank you, Wade. I see you. Yeah. Allow the intelligence to flow in. Whew, this is powerful, Tana. Thank you. Sometimes I am a teacher, at times a student. Yes. Oh, that's so powerful. I don't know if I can even begin to describe the shifts and activations that are happening with that statement. Tana? Tana. Tana? Tana. Say it both ways just to cover my A. I'm not going to say the A word. Can you see yourself in all the roles? And to be a powerful teacher, we must be powerful students. We must constantly learn and grow. So good. Ooh, Shannon, great question. Do you think that sometimes we are the biggest a-hole in our own life? All right, I'm going to say, here's what's coming in. If you are able to identify an a-hole in your life, step one was really leaning in and asking ourselves, what am I learning in this relationship with this a-hole? Now I want you to take it to the next level. Everybody, thanks, Shannon. This is a great exploration. All right, hand on the heart. Where am I the biggest a-hole to myself right now? Because everyone truly is a mirror. Not only are we learning and growing and we get to see different aspects of ourselves through the relationships that we interact in, but also if we're seeing a-holes out there in the world, it means that there's an a-hole still within us that is alive and thriving. So where am I the biggest a-hole to myself? Get clear on that right now. And as you are getting clear on where you are the biggest a-hole to yourself, I want you to say this. Of course I am, because I'm scared to XYZ, or I'm hurting because of XYZ. Give yourself an of course I am. Don't make yourself wrong or alienate your inner a-hole even more. Keep doing the work. Of course I am, because fill in the blank. Woo! You guys are doing a lot of work today. Getting in there, doing the work. Thank you for this. Wherever you are being an a-hole to yourself, you're also sabotaging yourself. You're keeping yourself playing small in a particular area because there's a part of you that is afraid to play big, afraid of what will happen, afraid of the unknown. As you are bringing awareness to that, the guides want me to share with you, there is an illumination of light energy coming into your thoughts that is healing that old pattern. It's as simple as that. Patterns being healed here today. So proud of you all for leaning in and doing this work. Good job. All right. Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen for Tracy and Shannon, who helped us both lean in there and find some areas where we get to work. Not sticking up for ourselves. Yeah, believing that we are worthy of better. Yep, Jim's feeling the power too. Sometimes I'm an a-hole in my life. I'm working on that. Great work, everybody. All right, Wade, I have thought a lot about this question and have good answers, but I am ready to move on to other lessons. I feel you. Sometimes I feel like, all right, I've worked on this lesson before. I'm ready to move on to something else. If you feel that in your life, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen right now. And I want everybody, again, laying the hand on the heart. Here's the question that will allow you to move on to keep learning new lessons. If you're tired of learning the lessons, the old lessons of the lack of connection in your relationships, the lack of abundance in your finances, ask your guides, your higher self, your Akash, what step do I need to take to move forward? What step do I need to take to move forward? I'm going to be quiet for a moment while you guys allow that intelligence to land. Here's why the step is so important. So we've talked a lot about thought, a lot about how our minds are looping. We've given ourselves the opportunity for new thought, new perspective in this very broadcast. So thank you all. Next phase of making shifts in your life is about creating a new feedback loop with the universe. And we do that by taking an action step. A place where society has been very stuck is that we do a lot of self-help reading and studying and thinking, but actually changing our behavior is where we are weak right now because we haven't done it enough. We haven't learned how to act on the new thoughts or the intelligence that we get. For you to move out of a current karmic pattern, karma is an unlearned lesson or a place where you are just cycling through the same old experiences over and over, and you to step into a new timeline requires you to show up differently. You need a new operating system. And if you don't take the time to get really clear about what that new action looks like, you will get a great idea of, oh yeah, I'm going to show up differently in that relationship. And then you show up in the relationship and the same old you follows you. I'm working on this with my teenage daughter right now, who is one of my great teachers in my life. Woo! And so I think about, okay, I want to show up and give Vivian as much grace as I possibly can. I'm not giving her enough grace. She's a teenager. Her frontal, hang on, take two. Her frontal lobe is not fully developed yet. So her ability to see from the bigger picture, to see how her actions are affecting other people, isn't developed yet. Of course, she's operating from a perspective that feels very selfish. That's how her brain thinks right now. She's right where she needs to be in terms of human development. It's me that needs to understand that my frontal lobe is much more developed. I am 45 years old. The frontal lobe completes its developing in the late 20s, usually, is about where it happens. So I don't have any excuses. So I think, all right, rather than being so hard on her, because that's the part of me that's hard on myself, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give her more grace. And I think this in my head, but I don't write it down. I don't make a commitment to it. I just think it in my head. Oh, that's a great download. Good job, Emily. Oh, you're a good mom. Yay. And then I show up in the relationship with her, and the energies, the unseen energies that play out between us, that have played out the same way over and over and over, that are creating these patterns, start playing out. And I revert back to my same old self that's not giving her grace and is really hard on her. And she doesn't like it very much. She feels like I'm mean to her. I can see that from her perspective. No, it's not my intention from inside of myself. How many of you know I used to be an actress? If you don't, now you know. 20 years in the acting world, in Hollywood. I would prepare for a scene and I would get during acting class and I would try. Well, this is what I was trying to emote. And my acting teacher would say, yeah, it doesn't matter what you were trying. It only matters what we got. And we didn't get that, Emily. That was bad. Honestly, Shannon can attest to this. Shannon is one of my dear, beautiful friends from that chapter, the era, my Hollywood era. Most of my acting teachers would tell me, Emily, even when you're bad, you're good. I was pretty good. And I didn't nail it all of the time. Similar with Vivian, I have this plan inside of me, and yeah, it doesn't work well. Until I begin to get really clear about it and I write it down. And I write down what my new operating system is. Because there is an activation, a transmission that happens when we move things from the realm of thought through our bodies and write them down. It is a way of giving them geometry. What does that mean? It means they're moving from the world of essence, where things do not have form, into the physical world or a 3D world where they have form. And until something has form, we can't really work with it here in the physical. So it's very important that you begin to write these things down, give your intentions form, and then you have a fighting chance, maybe not the first time, because it is like it's not a joke, but it's I don't even know what to call it. I don't even know if an allegory is the right word, but you guys have heard this before. You walk down the street, you fall in a hole. You walk down the street, you fall in a hole. You walk down the street, you walk around the hole. You walk down the street, you walk down a different street, right? It takes us a while to learn. But if you will write down how you want to show up differently so that you can create new feedback loops with the universe, your why is really important. Why am I writing this down? Oh, yeah, because I want to create a new feedback loop. I want to move into a new timeline. I don't want to be a slave to my old subconscious patterns that are happening below my awareness. That's my why. Then you actually have a fighting chance of moving into a different timeline. Another thing that will give you even more of a fighting chance is get involved in a community where other people are consciously working on expanding their awareness, raising their vibration, taking radical responsibility for what it is that they're creating and miscreating, and in a loving, connected way, encouraging themselves and others to be different, to show up in a more fully expressed and aligned version of who you want to be. Another reason that we created the ether, I want to invite every single one of you who is not currently a member of this community to check it out. It's $22.20 a month. It is a life-changing community that will help you keep the vibrational frequency of miracle consciousness so you can begin making effortless changes in your life. Because not only will you have a support in terms of structure on how to make these changes, you will get the benefit of being in a community where there is a higher vibrational frequency based on numbers. I grew up really Southern Baptist, which is why my mama doesn't like it when I say things like shit and ass. She's vacationing in Florida. Maybe she left a little bit early. She's not going to get mad at me for saying those words. Why did I tell you? Brian Cable's in the house. Why was I going to tell you that I grew up Southern Baptist? There was a reason I was going to tell you this. Oh, why do I keep hitting the mic too? I know why. Because Jesus said, when 2 or more of you are gathered in my name. She says, nope, she's still here. Sorry, Mama. And thank you for being here while you're on vacation. I love you, Mom. Ride or die. Oh, what a big microphone you have. Thank you, Michael. Yes. Because when there are many of us that gather in a frequency of God consciousness, we can perform miracles together. Okay, I love you all. The second coming of Jesus is when all 12, in my opinion, what my guides have shown me, that second coming of Jesus or Christed consciousness energy is when all 12 strands of our DNA illuminate and we tap into our fullest potential here on the planet. And that is the goal of the ether on how we want to support you. If this has benefited you here today, I'm going to invite you to share out this broadcast. There is somebody in your life who this could be an opportunity to find hope, to find a new perspective, and could make a huge difference in what they are currently challenged with. And we are all here to help each other. So I thank you all for being here. Share out this broadcast. I love you all. And I'll see you back here again next week.